Hello everybody and welcome back to Whole Vlogs with me, Whole Vlogs. And in today's episode we're going to be discussing how we balance everything and everybody here because it's not necessarily easy. I also recognise how disproportionate the competition on this video is. I've got a massive clock above my head and you can only see my shoulders. I look like an absolute midget. I mean, I could edit this on CapCut when I edit this, but for comedic value I think I'm just going to leave you looking like a midget, you know. Midgets are pretty cool. They really are. I'm just going to walk you through the barn and explain a little bit of our winter regime. Because as much as we love it here, and we're so incredibly lucky to be based where we are in the Lake District, and we love our farm, especially, you know, with it being listed and the history behind it, it has character, and it's charming, but the only downside is that it's not the most efficient.
So here's Annie, who's decided in more recent days to take on the role of Holly's supervisor. So she's supervising me right now. So even in the winter we still have many of our horses free rein, most commonly Anja because she is stabled 90% of the time, and the reason for this is because she has very sensitive skin. So if we were to leave her out in this weather, because it's quite damp underfoot and it's quite damp outside, her skin would just end up coming up in a load of scabs, getting really irritated and itchy, and then she'd get sore patches, and it'd just make her very uncomfortable because she has had instances in the past where her legs have literally ballooned and swollen up due to something that has irritated her skin. So it's just not worth risking leaving her out in the rain day in day out like the others to end up with skin problems again. Whereas the others, even though Frisians can be known to have quite sensitive skin, they're a little more robust. Thank you, Annie, for coming this close to the camera and showing everyone your beautiful little face. So Annie as well, she's always had weepy eyes, which is why little crusty bits around her eyes. We do wipe them, but they are always continually weepy. It's just one of the things that makes Annie Annie. Down here we have a wayward Swede, which Annie picked and then decided she didn't want any more, so she just planted it. She's following me. She's my supervisor, everyone. Oh no, my supervisor's having a snack. Oh no, my supervisor's playing football. Well, you'll see Annie in the Premier League fixtures of 2024. And then coming this way we have the horses. This is their pot wash area. So there is their breakfast and tea bowls that have just been washed out. So yeah, today's just basically Hulls and her supervisor on tour. And as well as this area being the horses' pot wash, it is also their water supply, which is in this green water butt, and their light washing station, as seen here. You can see the very beautiful concrete on the ground, because I'm filming this on the iPad because my phone storage is dead, so the zoom on it's really weird. So it's zooming in really close to everything, even though I can't zoom out anymore. But Annie, do we have to walk that closely behind me? Obviously, because she's my supervisor. Anyway, while we let the iPad adjust to the inside light, in front of us there is Hoitzer, who is giving Anja evils because he likes to be a nasty pasty towards her. And then there we have the albino, who's snacking in the hay hole, and his hobbies include eating the Swedes, getting chased off by Anja, and making strange donkey noises every 5 seconds when there's a minor inconvenience to his life. So that's when he interacts with another horse, you get a bit too close to him, or he hears a strange noise. He likes to make donkey sounds. And then we have Yodel, who came in for a leg wash and a bit of a pamper. The light in here really is appalling today, but I'm just going to call it special effects, everyone. Special effects. It's not blurry, it's retro. You know, it's given us a throwback to early 2000s filming. It's a retro filming, everybody. And then here is little Maybelline New York. Annie is scavenging. Excuse me, Annie, you're meant to be supervising me, not snacking. Is Miss Mabel, who I did give a Swede earlier, but I think she might have finished it. She had a bath yesterday from Jodie, so she's still on box rest. And she will be till the middle of Jan. So that's who we've got up here today. Micah had a session in the friendship barn, which is why you can see her green fleece here, because she had a legs wash for that. And of course, not forgetting everybody's favourite, the tiny person, Mr. JB, who had a clip the other day, which is why his face looks a little bit like a really cool Zorro mask. So he's in there with his big person friend Hoitzy, and tonight they're going to go back out in their little turnout in front of the house so that they can kind of be inside outside, you know, stretch their legs but be close enough to get the attention. but today Hoyts is Mabel sitting because Anja is obviously free range, so she comes and goes. Yodel was out this morning, and Mabel requires 24/7 around the clock company, otherwise she has severe anxiety issues surrounding being alone. Everybody also thinks it's hilarious to make a massive mess in winter. They like to leave their excrement everywhere and just, drag all of the hay out of the hay hole, naming no names, Anja. And over here you can see all of our fields. So right in front of us over there, where's my finger? Oh, over there. Right in front of us over there is the girls, and then right in front of us here, in our beautiful little muck heap and miscellaneous building materials pile, is the boys' field. I'm not quite sure where they are in it. Oh, they're by their little ring feeder. Where are they all? I was about to shout boys, but then I realised they weren't. Well, they might be able to hear me from here, but there's no point. So you can see them all by the ring feeder. Again, guys, remember, it's retro filming today. I'm giving you all a little throwback. So they're all there. And as you can see, it's a little poached and wet underfoot. But they come up enough regularly to have their legs and tails washed, their rugs reset, because this time of year, it's always important to take their rugs on and off and reset them, because otherwise they slip back and fall to the side. And they're all quite robust, really, so as long as we keep on top of bringing them in and making sure the skin's okay, they can winter out very well. Although sometimes they do kind of look a bit sorry for themselves and go, but I want to come in. But it's like, guys, sorry, not to be rude, but you can't. And the reason for this being is because these are the only 3 stables we have, other than stable stays. Well, to be fair, that's a slight lie. There is a stable down by the muck trailer right in front of us there, next to the miscellaneous building materials pile. But not all of them will go in there because it's quite isolated. So the likes of Mabel wouldn't settle in there, and it leaks a bit, so it's not ideal. There's gorgeous Yoda. So yeah, that stable's not really ideal to use. We only really use it as a last chance saloon. And as for stable stays, we only have horses in there when there is a stable stay, because it needs to be kept more pristine for visitors, because we don't really want it to end up smelling or dirty. And again, going back to it being isolated, not all of them settle in it. The likes of Hoytzer, though, he absolutely loves it in there because he's not bothered about friends as long as he has food. So to explain a bit more about our management here in the winter, we have most of them out 24/7, other than Annie, who's in predominantly, and Mabel at the moment because she's on rest. But other than that, we rotate them to come in for sleeps in the daytime and overnight. So obviously today we've got Hoytzer, who's Mabel sitting, but sometimes Hidda will come in for a sleep, as will Renska. Or other times they'll come in for a night, then go back out in the day, or for a couple of nights. We just rotate them depending on what they need. Because I do believe we received a comment on YouTube a few weeks ago where it said that we have favourites because we only have certain ones in. No, it's not favouritism, believe it or not. Even Anja has a valid reason to be in. It's because we prioritise the older ones who struggle with the winter a little bit more because they're older, so they need more time to rest and recover. Whereas the younger ones, the likes of Ice, Phoebes, Nika, even though Yolanda's standing in at the moment, that's only because, bless her, she's having a gorgeous little snooze. It's only because she hasn't been up yet this week. That's only because, they need the rest. Hannes as well needs the rest due to everything with his eye. He does get tired because it does take it out of him that little bit more. So he often comes in for a sleep. The other kind of management we have here in winter is literally just keeping everybody happy and healthy, because it takes us literally double the time here in the winter, because going back to our facilities, they're not always the most efficient. For example, you can see in the barn here, because of the wet, it all kind of blows in, then everything gets soggy. The wind blows everything about outside. It's not, because there's definitely more mundane jobs to be done, like the mucking out, especially mucking out our stables. They take longer to, if what would be a modern day efficient facility, and I know this because I did work a couple of years ago at a modern day efficient facility, and mucking out there literally took half the time. Because as you can see, our stables, there's a few drop-ins in there at the moment that I need to skip out, but they're quite big. And because it's an old, what, 16th, 17th, 18th, I don't know, it's a very old building. You can see it's got all the original beams and everything. So water tends to, and dampness from this time of year tends to come up through the floor and the walls, making the bedding even more damp than it would be. And not only that, but the mats, you see here, the mats in front of us, see here, they're not sealed, so the bedding and some of the gross stuff seeps between them, and then that takes longer to sweep out. So to muck out these boxes, you're looking at minimum 20 minutes per box, which in a modern day facility would take less time. You know that as well. We've got these water bowls to clean out every day. Having automated water drinkers is quicker. Good boy, Hoytsy. And in between mucking out, it's not just that takes up the time. You see down here, our muck trailer is down, it's down there. So we have to wheel the wheelbarrows down this track here, up to the trailer. Whereas it would be far more efficient if the muck trailer were, like if we had some kind of muck heap that was literally either out here or even some kind of tractor bucket in the barn. But we don't have that system here, and that's not possible to do. And I know it might not seem that far, but when you're coming up and down here, mucking out the barn, you could have between 3 and 5 wheelbarrows, and it does just take up the time. And there's also quite a lot of walking about in the day because, you know, going back to our fields, you can see they're quite far away from the farm. So again, that's a lot of time that we spend just walking up and down the road, moving horses around, and going back to them living out 24/7. As much as we love that for them because it's good for them, it takes us additional time to get them A, in from the field, and B, cleaned up. Whereas if we had everything just here in one place, it saves so much time because we wouldn't have the constant legwork and the constant, you know, going from A to B, and the constant, oh my god, this horse looks like a dishevelled hippo and I need to clean them up. So it's just quite a lot here. And this time of year, the horses it's not a priority. Yes, we'd love to keep them ticking over and keep the maintenance level fitness there in winter, but a lot of the time in winter it's just not possible, sadly, because again, this time of year, because the weather's a bit grim, Tracy takes this opportunity to go into the office, and you know the daylight hours are shorter. She takes the opportunity to go into the office and get on top of all of her admin, because there's an awful lot of that she's got to do. And also with it being Christmas in December, which is obviously in the winter, sorry, my words. Annie, that is so rude. Being at Christmas time, you know, there's quite a lot of stuff that needs to be done for Christmas. So she spends a lot of her time in there in the winter. And then we have shorter daylight hours as well, which doesn't help. So it's just a constant juggling act and just keeping everyone happy and healthy. And if we go down to the field one day and we see one that's looking a bit tired or a bit down, we'll bring them in and give them a pamper. And normally it is only the older ones because the younger ones can endure it much better. And then what I can hear in the background here is, of course, the tractor. So here's Tracy. So this time of year, all of the horses, they have hay in the fields because the grass kind of loses its nutrition. The grass isn't as good as it would be in the summer. So that takes up a lot of her time, giving hay to all the boys and the girls. Bye! So that takes up a lot of her time, going up and down doing that. Because the first winter ever, we've got 2 separate winter turnouts because we've got the boys in one field and the girls in the other. So that's 2 bales a week. So again, to show you where she has to go, obviously from the barn, and then she goes from the barn here, and then if we go down, the hay bales are kept in that field down the bottom there, so she'll drive to there, pick them up with the grabs, and then drop them in the ring feeder, which can be quite a faff to do, especially with the boys, because they do tend to crowd the grate a little bit and not want to let her in, so I might need to go and help her out. But again, that's probably 20 minutes of time doing that, and that needs to be done once a week, and it all adds up. So as much as we love our gorgeous little farm here, it's not the most efficient, which is why we've got a few plans in the new year to hopefully help us get the new facilities for all of these guys. Because if we had the facilities, we'd be able to give them so much more of our time, because it wouldn't be taken away, you know, doing the more mundane jobs and with the inefficiency. And it would also, you know, they'd be able to come in and rest more often because there'd be more room rather than just having 3 stables. But until then, we manage this place as best as we can and do the best as we can with what we've got. And yes, you know, sometimes they might feel a bit put out if they're like, well, I haven't been in for a little while and it's wet, but they get over it. But other than that, they're all very, very happy, healthy little creatures, they're all very happy, healthy little creatures, and we continue to manage this place as best as we can in the most efficient way that is possible for here. So thank you for watching this video, and we'll bring you some more soon. Bye!